All right, I think we're good. Only 10 minutes late. Good morning, everybody. It has been a very short morning to be able to get this all ready in time. So there's still bits and pieces I have to figure out. But the Young Socceroos are playing. It seems to have been a much brighter start against Cuba compared to the other games. But I have no audio, I have no scoreboard, I have no other people around. All those three things should be hopefully fixed. In the following minutes. Oh, it's daylight savings today. That's why I feel so tired as well. I really hope you can't hear that audio. What am I watching on? I'm watching on Safari. Okay, so that needs to go stream down. Chrome can go stream up because that's what Matt's going to come in and chat on. Oh, this is a bit of a disastrous start, I won't lie to you. All right. Now let's go graphics. There we go. I know we're not playing New Zealand, but that's a start, trust me. Whoa, that clock's still running. Control room, that's what I want. I might make that clock. What are we? We're 10:15, so we can start from 10:30. Ready? Get that synced up. Bang, that's live. Hello, Matt.
Okay, good morning. Good morning to the man whose clock has just adjusted and who clearly has been having a bit of a moment this morning. I don't know if you have seen the start to the proceedings tonight in Santiago, but I would just like to send an open message to FIFA. The flag has white stars. White stars. Is it that hard to get that right.
Oh no, they
And
flew the New Zealand flag.
the Bowl kids have come out hoisting the flag of New Zealand for the national
Oh
anthem, and
no.
the TV crew, to their credit, has found some family members or perhaps some expats who live in Santiago who were proudly, correctly hoisting this, and they've, instead of doing the usual thing where they pan over the players and the whole thing, they've just completely skipped all of the scenes on the pitch. Yes, because the Bowl kids and the committee have obviously come out with the wrong flag, and I expect Albo will get an apology from Pablo Milad or someone of authority in Chile for such a heinous mistake.
Yeah, oh dear. Oh dear indeed.
You're looking very sportscasty today with your with the full headset.
I will explain that shortly. There's still like 3 things I have to do to get this stream properly set up. So let me try and work through them.
Oh, I thought we actually were live.
We are live. We are live.
Oh, okay.
I decided because we were so late, I would just click the live button and we would get moving.
Okay.
And now I'm
that's
trying
why
to get
I
the
came in
scoreboard.
that's why I came
Sorry?
in so hot, because I thought if we're live straight away, I've got to come in with something,
No, you did well. We are live.
That's all right.
But
So look, obviously, we need a marathon of goals here, which I've got to say, pretty positive start from the way we've been playing. Apparently, Colombia can beat Nigeria, and we still have a chance. But obviously, this morning, with what we saw in Group C, I mean, the chance of both results going against us, you have to feel pretty bad about it. I mean, when Spain went 1-0 up, I thought that was actually almost good in a way, because Brazil had been really actually quite efficient with their ball movement. I thought Brazil definitely have a goal in them. And Spain were against the run of play a fair amount, even when they scored early in the second half. But then news came through that Mexico had scored, and I thought, oh no. Immediately thought, oh, for fuck's sake, is this really going to happen? Like the odds of both results just going in tandem against us, they kind of been too good. Now, I have a friend that I was chatting with this morning, who's actually run the numbers on what could happen in Group E and F.
Yeah.
Out of the permutations of us scoring at least 2, 3, 4 goals, and we're sitting at about an 8.5% chance of making it through. Now, this is without the 15 minutes of play we've just seen, because now obviously the further the clock goes down without goals on the board, in comparative to how many goals, Egypt are 2 behind. So Egypt, it would be a 2-0 lead to overtake them. And then obviously Nigeria, if Colombia beat Nigeria 1-0, that they're at a -1 goal difference. So that's where a 3-0 lead would then put us on par with Nigeria. And then it would come down to the dark arts, wizardry, yellow cards, discipline points, count back, coin tossing, all of these fun things. So I don't know if we want to be putting ourselves in that situation. But if it's something of an omen, the last time Trevor Morgan made a round of 16 at a Youth World Cup, do you remember who he knocked out? Okay, you're a bit busy there. We beat Nigeria by 2 goals. No, that's okay. We beat Nigeria by 2 goals in Goiás. And for an extra bit of fun about the city of Goiás, my local pharmacy has a Brazilian lad named Lucas, who is from Goiás. And upon him telling me that his accent was Brazilian, and that he does in fact speak Portuguese, I asked him where in Brazil he was from, and he said, oh, you've probably not heard of it. It's this city in central Brazil near Brasilia called Goiás. And I said, well, you'll never believe it. I watched a football game in Goiás once. So that was a fun story. But yes, are you okay? There's a lot of fiddling around over there. You right?
There is a lot of fiddling around. Bello, hello. Yes, we have someone in the chat. Are you watching the Q game? Yes, we are. I mean, it's 15 minutes in. I haven't really been paying attention yet.
The whole live stream.
I had a very long day yesterday. Okay. Got back after midnight from the cup final. Decided foolishly to watch the Arsenal game that had then kicked off at midnight as well. of course, at that time, getting to bed at 2 a.m. and then forgetting that this was the morning daylight savings was ticking over was a great coincidence, and I'm very thankful for this morning. And so for some reason, I was extra tired when my alarm went off at 9 a.m.
I sat around all the way through the Group C games thinking, when is Lockie going to send me the message? When is he going to send me the link? And I just thought, because I remember reading something last night about you talking about like podcast content, and you said, oh, we might be doing something after to review sort of the cup final and then talk about the Young Socceroos. And so in tandem with you just not responding at all, and the fact that you sent that message, I was literally sitting on the couch, with a fucking, with a blanket and everything. And I was just, thinking to myself, I think you've just sort of cancelled on the go and I've not fully got the message. And then all of a sudden you send the link through and it's, for me, it's just ticked over past 7 o'clock, which we were supposed to start at 6:55 my time. So you can imagine my shock when out of the blue you've said, oh yeah, here we are, we're recording now. There's the link. So yes, I can imagine you're feeling unprepared and quite stupid. I'm feeling especially unprepared right now. But at least we've had, we've had something of a morning both ways, I guess. Me watching all of the football, you watching football, and then sleeping and then forgetting. It's now a 3-hour break now, so we've had to start at 10 o'clock.
It is.
And does it feel like 10 o'clock, or does it very much still feel 9 o'clock?
No, it very much. Honestly, today, right now, it feels like 6 o'clock. That's where I'm at the
also,
moment.
what was with the delay with the cup final? Like, were you just out and about doing things?
So, Lakeside Stadium is particularly devious to get through public transport for me. So, I was out at a different event, had to get public transport to the ground, and then by the time extra time, Jets celebrate with their fans, they wheel the stage on, they do the presentation and the cup lift. I didn't even end up staying for the press conferences. I left before the press conferences, and to get home, I got home at like 12:20, something like that. Right. And then, I shouldn't have watched Arsenal. We were playing West Ham. We were always going to win. I should have just gone to bed and been content with the highlights in the morning. But it was on, and I'm like, "Ooh, Arsenal on. Let's watch that."
Move here. Oh. Sorry, there is a football game that we are here to talk about.
There is a football game. Yes, I have one more problem that I need to solve. So let me go solve that whilst you talk about the football that is happening in front of us.
Well, this is delightful, and yes, I will say, as someone from Western Australia, Lockie's got all the metrics in front of him. By the way, he can tell comments, he can tell what's going on. I can't. I'm naturally just a guest on his live stream, so I do apologise if there are questions and things someone might want to ask RBA about. I can't help naturally in the position that I'm in, but I can obviously talk a little bit more about obviously the action we've seen this morning. For a Brazilian team that's had Esteval in it, I was really expecting them to punch well above their weight. And I think the biggest thing is not so much sort of the mess that played out this morning, where that first 15 or 20 minutes while we're in here, actually, Australia are through. It's 1-0. And I believe it's Max Caputo that's put it home. It was a delicate touch for sure. And there's obviously the correct flag in the stands too. Note it is the white stars, not the red. So very sumptuous ball and really, really poor defending from Cuba. I think that's probably the main takeaway there. I mean, James Overy has just sort of backed himself there to go on a bit of a run, and it's really turned into a goal-scoring opportunity quite minimally. But deft touch there from Max Caputo, and it's the lead that Australia needs again. So that's -3 we'd be on now with Egypt at -2, and then of course the pending situation with Nigeria. So that was a rather convenient set of dialogue there, Lockie. I don't know if you've got me, but I was sort of in the middle of talking about daylight savings, and then switched to talk the Brazilian national team, the Brazilian U20 national team being a bit of a mess, and then was rudely interrupted by Max Caputo putting in a pretty deft touch off the back of a move that was started from James Overy. Cuba did quite poorly defensively on the play. There was really not a lot to it. But just to update the situation now, so that puts us -3 goal difference on 3 points. Egypt out of Group A will be -2 with 3 points. Nigeria would be sitting on 3 points at 0, obviously with their match with Colombia to play. So it's about sort of getting over the two African teams at this particular moment in time. But we'd need a few more goals first before we can entertain that conversation. And Cuba coming forward now. It's Romario Torres, the man of the moment, but he's gone for an overhead kick that has been completely cut off. And now Daniel Benny's advancing forward. This is something
Have you got me, Matt?
of an attack. It's been cleared away now. And Torres is quite hurt. Torres is not in a good state.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, lovely. Okay. I've different headset, new microphone. I can now hear you coming through my ears, which is lovely.
Okay.
It's always ideal.
Did you hear anything I said as you kind of came back in frame?
I got some of it. I heard Max Caputo deft touch. I heard goal.
Yep.
Goal. No. Goal. But yes, lovely.
So the situation is, and again, this is more or less the important part that I was explaining. Egypt are -2 goal difference with 3 points. We are now -3. So we will jump into the 5th spot with another goal, pending again wizardry, dark arts, all of these lovely things that come into it. It's mostly discipline. Discipline will be the deciding factor, and I have no idea how we stack up. Because who the hell's paying attention actively to those things?
Yeah. Look,
I
have no idea how many people are actually watching us right now. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go hopefully on the flash score page to the Under-20 World Cup and try and bring up the live third place ranking table and trying to bring that on the stream so we can get a little bit of context as we go throughout this match.
Was just telling the audience, and again, I've obviously got no idea who the audience is or what they're like, because you've got all the metrics in front of you. But just telling them that this was a squad with Estevao in it this morning in Brazil. And I mean, we talk about how poorly Brazil's been performing at the senior level. I think they face a relatively similar situation to that of Germany, where clearly a very talented, generation, but it's really about moulding that team together, having the right management in place. And you look at the sort of managerial turnover that Brazil seemed to have. I mean, am I right in saying they had a situation where Carlo Ancelotti was signed on, and then he had like a pretty serious personal situation, getting arrested for tax fraud?
Yes, pretty serious, yeah.
Yeah, so the Brazilian national setup really going through it all, and this is a team that's ultimately finished bottom of the group. This morning, they dominated Spain for the better part of 15 to 20 minutes. It was bizarre, but also, everyone spoke about Group C very, very obviously being the group of death, with Brazil, Spain, Mexico, and Morocco. And I think it is just such a beautiful indictment on international football that Mexico and Morocco, especially Morocco, came through as the better teams in the group. I think it's good for Mexico to have a bit of a revival, because they've been pretty off kilter at senior level as well for a while now. But ultimately the results haven't flowed our way, so we've got to be in this mess where we're keeping an eye on Colombia and Nigeria, and again we stand about an 8% chance of making it through. So we'd really be here in far better circumstances. And I don't just say that because of the whole mess with how we're recording this under a very, very late notice. And a very dark cloud as well. But I certainly infer that through the fact that, that Brazil and Spain game being a draw would put us in a much happier state of mind right now. Much, much happier.
All right, I think I've...
And by the way, this is really the first time as well that we've seen Cuba against 11 men.
Yeah.
And
they last 45 minutes?
Beaten.
Against... Italy.
Italy. Yes, so
Italy,
the first 45 or so minutes, yes. I got really distracted by everything that I was both trying to say to our audience, and with you sort of jumping out there. I don't know if Torres was taken off because he did appear really hurt. I was not really actually paying attention. Goodness. Um,
All right.
Seriously, did he go off?
No clue.
Okay, let's have a look.
You know what? I'm going to put this up here. So this, everybody, that you can see on your screen now. Hello, Clutch and Crabson as well in the chat. This is the ranking of third place teams. So we have South Korea and Spain on 4 points. They have finished their group phase. And then Egypt on 3 points as well. And then Nigeria and France both on 3, but they still have a game to play. That'll be tomorrow, won't it? Newcastle France is today, but Nigeria versus Colombia is tomorrow. And then obviously Cuba is from the group that we're trying to sneak up into. So the Australians, what did you say?
We're ahead of them now anyway, right? Because we
are,
we have the 3 points. So it is actually us that you can pop in there. Can I just confirm, sorry, who did you say it was out of Group E?
I'm not looking at the groups. It is South Korea, Spain, Nigeria, Egypt, France.
Okay, Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria is who we're after. The other game would be Norway versus Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia are actually already officially eliminated. Norway, I think the other teams in Group E are above anyway. They are. They're above 3 points. So really, it's just if Colombia really go all out and beat Nigeria, puts us into contention. But Australia needs to worry about Australia first, and we still actually need the goals. We still need about at least 2 more.
We do.
Something you've been pointing out in chat, and something that's really sort of piqued my curiosity, especially as someone who watches a lot of FIFA Plus, is that the FIFA Network commentators, and it has been the same people for the better part of seriously 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
The great Thomas Fleetwood has commentated every FIFA tournament I've ever watched, dating back to literally the 2000s. And he is a great commentator, but there is something of that kind of air of being people who work for the FIFA network. And I think it's fair to say, Lockie, a really inherent bias to football powerhouse nations or countries that are underdogs that you can tell are performing well. And I think this has crept through in commentary a fair bit throughout what you've seen of the tournament, which I believe what you've seen of the tournament is only the 2 games.
Correct, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It was honestly unbelievable. It peaked in as I was watching the Australia-Italy game. Just the commentator was completely unappreciative of anything that Australia was providing to the game and just tried to impose a level of just complete comfort on what the Italians were doing, which was not the case as well. Many people, including you and I, thought that it was an extremely tight game, that Australia would have been a fair winner if we took our chances. And coaches said that in post-match press conferences. Argentina's coach said it the day before our game with them. Ooh, close chance. It was a very tight battle.
I think I'm actually quite far ahead of you.
I think you are too. Yeah, but I'll let you commentate on the live action and I'll see you later. But it was remarkable. So that was kind of in the back of my head. And then coming into Argentina, it was just talking in the pre-match. It was just this position of, can Australia pull off a miracle? Granted, we lost 4-1. We didn't play very well in that match. But all the expectations, all the form line going into that being Asian champions, it shouldn't have granted Australia that level of disrespect. So, I was quite taken aback by it, to be honest.
And I mean, again, as someone who does watch a lot of FIFA Plus, who tunes into every tournament, certainly where I can, this is not something of an outlier. I think they do actually have an inherent bias to countries that they want to really pin a narrative on.
Yeah.
Across all the different languages that they speak, across all the sports that they cover. I was someone that watched every game of the Beach Soccer World Cup in the Seychelles. And again, that was one where like you could tell when the big nations were playing that they were going to be making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Even the futsal being held in Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan was a country where they wanted to put a lot of intrigue in them, and from memory, they didn't perform overly well. I remember watching a game, Libya. I think it was Libya versus New Zealand, and there was already a lot of like preconceived notions on both teams and how they would perform, kind of going into it, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I just feel that it's something that they really push. Because they probably see where certain audience are captivated from with certain sports, and that they just like playing into it. But I think honestly, FIFA as a whole really don't have a lot of regard for, how I come up with this concept of really the final frontier of really, East Asia and the Pacific is really the area that's ignored the most in football. Yep. When you think of any tournament, and I mean literally any FIFA tournament you can think of, that opening game that a country has against another nation, going all the way through all the men's tiers and age groups, all the women's tiers and age groups, the indoor, the beach. I'm not kidding you. Every opening game seems to be against someone from the AFC or OFC. It just always is.
Yeah.
It's like why do they ignore us? Unless it's like a Japan team that's, at the absolute peak of their powers, South Korea, on the odd occasion. And then obviously when Saudi have been good, when Qatar have been good, when North Korea won their 2 youth women's World Cups, like there's examples to it. But it just always seems that there's a very, very little regard, unless it is a game like this we're watching, where you have no choice but to actually be complimentary towards Australia, because it's clear that they're the better team on paper.
So I can take this a step further for you. A couple of months ago, we did an interview with Adriano Del Monte. I'm not sure if you've heard that name. Yep. So for those listening who don't know who he is, he's Australian, born and bred, international TV football presenter. So he went to Ivanhoe Grammar School in Melbourne for 13 years, and when he graduated, he wanted to be in football TV. So he currently lives over in Europe, and he presents for different TV networks and does events for UEFA and FIFA as well. And one thing he talked to us about was just that not even like anti-Asia or whatever, but specifically British bias in international football. And from a commentator's perspective, which is obviously the topic we're talking about, when you go to like a lot of the European events, and I'm sure it is very similar for these FIFA events as well, for the world feed commentators, 90% of them are British. And so like the example he uses when you're talking like a Europa League or a Conference League game or something, it's always...
Brilliant ball from Benny.
It's always like the ex-Chelsea player or the ex-Liverpool or the ex-Man United player. It's always kind of unconsciously framed in their impact on British football.
Alex Badalado on the volley. Just going to stop you there. The ball in from Benny. And he's just not done enough to control that. You have to do better. Has to do better.
Oh,
bloody
he
hell!
snatched at it early, didn't he?
Yeah. Did he think he was playing rugby union, putting it between the posts for 3? Bloody hell! Bloody hell!
But yeah, so Adriano was very like fervent in that opinion that just, because all these people come from British, it's the home of football, it's the homeland, and just that opinion seems to just naturally seep through.
And you know what? We have, and again, look, this is just me to my core, okay? I watch a lot of sport, but we have the Milan Winter Olympics coming up in January. And I know that I'm getting really far afield here and getting really niche, but you can bet when literally like hundreds of competitors are lining up for the biathlon or for a cross-country skiing event, they want to talk about the 7 sort of Norwegian or Swedish people who have a chance. No outsider cops a mention until it's like, oh, this person could win, like hours into the race. And it's just like, I know that there are certain people to keep an eye on, because again, I go through it all, and I take a lot of care with watching something like the Olympics, because you kind of have to do a lot of very meticulous viewing in a lot of areas all at once, and you have to spend time refreshing pages and looking out for people. And when we've got our team of two, obvious outsider skiers going into a race like that, it's hard, right? It's hard, but don't laugh. Don't laugh, because again, I think we're far better.
I'm laughing at the fact that we're talking about skiing. That's all I'm laughing about.
It's an example though, right? Because again, it's like this is a race that goes for hours with hundreds of people in it, and you will watch it, and the commentators will only ever focus on about 7 people. It's absurd. The scale of it is absurd, right? Because there's so much more going on in the race.
Yeah.
But anyway. It's the first thing that came to mind, and I don't know why. It's October. I don't need to turn on the Milan 2026 brain yet. But yeah.
Oh, you know what I can do?
What can you do?
I can turn on the audio commentary, because I've finally figured out my headset. So I believe if I've done this correctly, if I haven't done this correctly, we're breaking copyright law. If I have done it correctly, I'm putting the audio through my headset and not the stream, which is the ideal angle. Yes, I think I've done that okay.
If we do get caught for copyright at any point, let's just tell FIFA it was in protest to them getting the flag.
The flag. So I've been so kind of out of touch with what's going on. I haven't even realized that Lucas Harrington has started, who someone has brought up in our chat. He is absolutely a talent. He's only 18, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Right?
Definitely on the younger side for it's a corner. Definitely on the younger side for people who are obviously in the starting 11 and making that push. But also, I think that the nature with which someone like Lucas has got his move to MLS, and I do worry that any lack of game time at that age is something of a problem. However, I believe obviously with the system there, because he's gone to Colorado Rapids, I believe. Yep. They have obviously the MLS Next Pro, and then feeder clubs into the USL. Daniel Benny! Was he onside? The Western Australian strikes!
He's got it?
This is 2-0 within the first half. Exactly what Australia have needed.
Oh, that's horrible defending as well.
Don't care. And yes, Daniel Benny's probably been gifted both of his goals at this tournament. Don't care. So, equal now with Egypt on the table. Could have been already ahead of New Zealand, by the way. We could have just slotted into 5th, but for the fact Egypt scored in the 96th minute with an absolute perler of a goal against the hosts. Unbelievable scenes in Group A. I think this tournament has been brilliant, but I still stand by the fact that look, we are way too good to be in this situation, and I think Group D is proving to have been something of a curse on us.
Do we have any indication of who we might play in the knockouts if we manage to sneak through?
Ukraine,
who we beat pre-tournament.
But the third place algorithm.
Oh, it shifts rapidly. Yeah.
Yeah, it ends up being random. But I think when I was doing a bunch of things working out an algorithm, Ukraine was one name that came out to me, and I did some stuff with AI. Obviously, it can get that stuff wrong, but there was a fair inkling that we would be facing whoever came out of Group B, and my convictions going into the tournament was that Ukraine were definitely going to be a team that could make a very, very deep run, and we would be very, very stupid to overlook them. But if I'm being brutally honest with you here, Lockie, I just think Nigeria, by the way, and I don't know if you actually have any context on what's going on in Group E. Group F. I didn't think we were ever going to be talking about Group F. I honestly thought Group C would have done the job already for us.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a bit ignorant, because imagine if Brazil and Spain had drawn, we're already kind of looking at it, right? We're already in that situation with the 2-0 lead.
Yeah, we're already through. Yeah,
but that's just the reality of the situation. So to Group F, Nigeria had about 20 shots to open their game against Norway. I mean, on paper, they really obliterated them. But they only had about 2 shots on target. And the chances Norway took, they were extremely clinical. Norway's won that game 1-0. And my worry is the Nigeria that we saw come out against Saudi, they really sort of corrected all of those issues, came out and were pretty decent. They required a late winner again in that one, but I felt that was more through, again, Saudi's ability to sort of counteract them in the right areas.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if Colombia beating them is something that is going to happen in reality. I think we do ultimately get knocked out. But the fact that it's still kind of going to be open up, and I think what's also frustrating about Group C not kind of resolving itself is that if it had, we'd go into the game now, we'd have the lead, and it would be sort of a close case. The fact that we've got to wait another 24 hours on some Monday morning to now sort of wait for that to resolve, and especially if it's like when and if Nigeria do eventually kind of score and it becomes a close case, it's like we've just sort of waited and anticipated that for no real reason.
So I'm trying to find people a live like kind of table of the third place rankings, which I can't seem to get.
It doesn't. I don't really know of any software where they do stuff like that, to be brutally honest.
Usually, because usually Flash Score is pretty good because I can get the live table like in the individual groups. I don't imagine it can't be that hard to then feed all that data into the third place rankings. But yeah, I can't find a place where they've done it. So apologies, everybody. But we should be. Let me bring back. So I can find them as they are as at the completed games, which is on your screen now. So Australia is -2 goal difference on 3 points. So we're essentially tied with Egypt right now.
That's right. That is right.
And we've scored three goals. Right. So we're exactly even with Egypt.
Yes. That's where the dark art's coming to it. This is what I've been saying the whole time.
Yeah. I've just seen the raw numbers and it's clicking in my head.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. Oh, there's an interception. No, he's actually needed to distribute the ball there.
Randall Stevens in the chat is talking about Lucas Harrington, true ball playing defender. I think the most impressive thing about him when he came into the A-League, like he already had a bit of expectation on him. Like Ruben Zadkovic has said he's like the best centre-back talent in Australia, full stop. And then we had to wait an extra 6 weeks to see him because he had to finish off his HSCs for the year. And then he made his A-League debut. And he just picks the right moments to do everything. To just step up, to tackle, to play a pass, to get physical with the duel. I think he just has a very good football IQ. And he's got the go-go gadget legs. So he can stick him out and win balls. Yeah, good top talent for sure. And we still got a few months of him until the January transfer window, until he goes to the MLS as well.
Oh, Benny's had another chance there. Oh, he was off, was he? He was off. Yeah, okay. To be fair, I don't know that he's mistimed the run. I just think that Cuba have actually employed a pretty good line there. It's just a matter of timing that was slightly off. Hey?
Benny's through. So what you're experiencing what you're experiencing is the normal pace of these live streams where someone is undoubtedly 30 seconds behind everybody else. And we have to measure our
okay, sorry, you were
reactions.
reacting. You were reacting to your own stream. I thought you were referencing something I said once upon a time because when I was with FPF and we tried doing the live stream for a little bit, there was a Western United game we were watching at Tarnit, and Hiroshi Ibasuki scored. And in a very, very high-pitched tone, I went, Ibasuki! And it just became a bit of a running meme. So
Ibasuki.
I thought somehow you were referencing that, even though you're not really in the...
I saw Hiroshi Ibasuki the other day.
Okay.
He's, no, I didn't actually speak with him, but he was at the PFA Awards the other night for none other reason than I think he was in Melbourne training because he hasn't got his visa yet to go back overseas. So when the whole Western United situation happened, the PFA put on training sessions at the home of the Matildas for the players to keep fit and keep their legs ticking over. And Hiroshi was part of that group. And then obviously a lot of those players have now got deals at different clubs. But Hiroshi's going overseas, back to Japan, I believe, or I could be wrong. But he's definitely going back overseas, but yeah, his visa is still ticking along. So he was at the PFA team of the second decade for the A-League event.
Another move.
All right. We've had a question in the chat. Tan has asked what's at stake for Australia to qualify. Matt, I'm going to give my quick elevator pitch and tell me if I'm wrong. So Australia cannot automatically qualify, Tan, through first or second in the group. So we have to win this game and then hope that results go our way to finish in the top four of the third place finishes of the group. So,
and for context, we are currently sitting 5th or 6th in that table. Depending on if we score one more goal, we leapfrog Egypt from Group A.
yeah.
So a 3-0 lead will get us into 5th spot.
Yeah.
Confirmed 5th spot with a 3-0 lead. That is confirmed. To go into 4th spot, we then can sit on a 3-0 lead or maybe go for 4, which is obviously the smarter thing to do. A 4th goal would put us at 0 goal difference. So we would be 5 goals scored, 5 goals conceded, and a net 0 with Nigeria. And can you do me a favour, Lockie? Can you just confirm what Nigeria have scored and not scored? Because
Nigeria have 3 goals scored and 3 goals against.
So what are we at? We're at 2. So we're at 3 goals scored right now. So
Yep.
goals scored could even be a metric that gets us over. Actually, no, that's not right because Nigeria need to finish on 3 points. So if they lose, they're at -1 goal difference anyway.
At least.
They're at -1 goal difference. And what are we at now? We're at -2, right?
Yep.
So even then, I mean...
So one more goal and then, well, depending on how many goals they score in like a one margin loss. Anyway, we need to win by a few goals and then hope results go our way tomorrow, essentially.
And when you say results plural, you actually just mean result. You just mean Colombia versus Nigeria. So
the France group is impossible. They're going to jump us no matter what.
Yep.
Okay.
South Africa have +4 goal difference. So there is a scenario where USA beat South Africa 5-0 or 4-0. If I'm being brutally honest with you, like the USA have been good. They beat France 3-0 for context. Obviously put 9 past New Caledonia.
Yeah.
The USA are like really, really good. Fancy what happens when you get a second division up and running and it's at a really high professional standard. Just a slight nod there to all my homies in the USL. But no, the reason I obviously allude to that is like I guess there's the potential South Africa lose by that much, but again, it's just one of those things where it's so far out of the realms of possibility. I'm not really here to entertain it.
Fair enough.
And that's kind of how I felt going into this game, to be honest. But with this 2-0 lead now we can start talking. I didn't want to. I was pretty.
So we need Nigeria to lose to Colombia.
Yep. It's that simple.
That's simple.
What I obviously need to figure out is, like you're saying, with that live ladder, we need to figure out what dark arts are going into effect with us in Egypt. We need to figure out who's had more yellow cards. I mean, we could just get up all the match cards from each game and simply look.
Yeah.
At discipline.
You know what would also be simpler? Score another goal, Australia, please. Good Lord, please score another goal. Can we just... we're going to talk about this in depth on the podcast, but coming out of what is absolutely supposed to have been one of the highest expectation World Cups for Australia, full stop, and the goals that we've scored have been a calamitous goalkeeping error, poor defending, and then a defender just chesting the ball to Daniel Benny to tuck into the net.
The move from... Let's actually give the Caputo finish credit. I mean, the last line for Cuba, miserable. I get that. But again, as someone who's watched every game at this tournament, I have seen worse. Okay? You should have watched Panama. Panama's last minute goal against Paraguay, worse than that, okay? And that really set the tone for, okay, I've got to remember that these are teenagers and you can expect those things from time to time. But it was poor defending. But the move from what people are missing, and what I just checked on my phone, and I've got a bunch of private messages as well. The move from James Overy to set that situation up was actually a really good sign of intent and a really good attacking move to kind of set the situation up from where he was. He was sort of dribbling, and it was one of those ones where, you know how they'll kind of, while kind of assessing the move that's ahead of them, they'll kind of pivot a little bit and then go in a bit of a faster stride. to kind of deceit and kind of I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for, but when you're kind of jockeying the defender and you just kind of push ahead a little bit, and then he's just put the ball through, and then it's gone into obviously that last line defence, parted like the Red Sea, and Cooper just been able to kind of finish the move off. But it's sorry, I'm not very technical. I think a lot of people can probably tell that I'm not a tactico. I'm not one of those kind of football viewers and enjoyers.
You're the
But
footballers and anthropologist's dream kind of football fan.
yes, correct. There's ads for the championship on. Nice.
I saw the at least the first time I'd ever noticed it for some advertising for the Women's Asian Cup at the cup final last night down at Lakeside.
We got a whole mural in Perth.
You do have a whole mural. You have a pretty
and
cool
I walk
mural.
past it every day. Do you know? Fun fact to get to my office. In fact, Lockie, you would know this because I mentioned it in private the other day. But the company I work for is the RAC, so the Royal Automobile Club of Western Australia. You would obviously be familiar with the RACV.
Yep.
Essentially the same concept, but obviously they are, by state they are fundamentally different companies, right?
Yep.
Anyway, they obviously are the naming rights sponsor for the RAC for RAC Arena, where the Perth Wildcats play in the NBL, and where they have the United Cup tennis to start the season over the summer. And obviously heaps of concerts there, and I think the Circus Delay was there the other night. Bit of fun. But I actually walk through the practice court. Like I literally walk through like the Perth branding, the ATP branding, and I walk across the practice court for the tennis to get into my office. So it's a really, really cool vibe. But the whole reason I kind of mentioned that complex is there's like a set of traffic lights, and the mural, the Asian Cup mural, is just on the other side of it. It's been like there's something of a construction site or like an open plot of land there, and they've basically just turned like one of the plaster boards into like an art feature while there's no sort of construction going on. So
Yeah, right.
that's where they've put up a big mural, and I think the inspiration for it was mostly to kind of I just get a pair of eyes on the Matildas again, and make sure that Sam Kerr is still someone that's an absolute superstar in contemporary Western Australian life. Because I'm sure she'll be all over the promotional material and things like that. I know she had the boot and clothing collection come out with Nike as well. That was very kind of coastal and Western Australian themed, so that was really neat. But yeah, I did find the timing of it odd, to be honest. Like there was no real reason for it to be like, oh hey, here's the mural for the Asian Cup. Other than the fact that there were like ticket sales and things going on with actually, yeah, it might have been due to the fact that like the first few tickets were going on sale, and they reached a certain metric, I guess, with several tens of thousands of tickets sold or whatever. So it was probably more in line with that. Why they've specifically chosen Perth and that kind of metric, though, I couldn't tell you. But I obviously say all this with the fact that Victoria's not getting any games, so
Correct.
you obviously are pretty far away from the tournament in that respect.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that there's this massive thing happening in Australia, and I guess I'm going to be sitting on my couch watching.
Okay.
Probably here.
Look, if I can make
you
feel any better, in the midst of your rugby union team folding, Victoria is still going to be hosting games at the 2027 Rugby World Cup. Yeah. The only issue is Victorians obviously don't give a crap because AFL.
They will turn out for the Wallabies. They will.
Yeah.
They will for sure.
I mean, that's if they're getting Wallabies games. I'm sure they must give them one, right? I don't know.
Hopefully. What is it? 3-game group stage into knockouts?
No, yes. It used to be groups of 5, but the World Cup's expanded from 20 to 24 teams.
Right.
So yes, it will be 4 games, and Perth is hosting the opening ceremony and the opening game. So it'd go Perth. And then, you'd be hosting one at Allianz or Olympic Park in Sydney. Then I assume, obviously, you'd give it a game to Brisbane, and then the 4th slot would surely be Melbourne. That would make the most sense, because I don't think you'd take a game to Canberra.
I'm a genius, Matt.
Why am I talking about the...
Sorry, I've just realised how clever I am. Give me 1 second.
Yes.
All the viewers in the stream are going to love this. What I'm doing...
Have you found a live ladder?
No, I haven't. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut Australia's live group standing and paste it on top of the third place rankings.
Okay, yeah.
So, what people can see, obviously, we're 3 points. So we're actually above France, and yes, we're level with Egypt. So I can't. Hold on,
What do you mean we're above France? Oh,
we're
because they
above
haven't played
France.
yet. They haven't played yet.
They haven't played yet. They will. They will play, and someone from that group will go above us. And I can't get them. I can't shift them around. But there, where at least Australia is there instead of Cuba. Okay, and you can see the points and the goal difference. So right now, depending on yellow cards, which we haven't figured out, we are either in fourth or fifth. But
Okay,
hopefully, we score another
let's run
goal.
the numbers on that. Let's run the numbers on that, hey?
All right, Matt's going to look up the yellow cards. We've been. I'm trying to think. Stephen Hall for the penalty. I reckon Esposito picked one up somewhere. I don't think we've been too bad apart from that.
Can I just point out, because I'm getting messages about this as well. Those last two goals conceded against Argentina have probably cost us. Pending Colombia really stepping in and doing a solid job for us. I feel like with the way that Argentina game kind of faded away and the fact that we conceded 2 goals in injury time, that's probably far more to blame than anything else with sort of Brazil and Spain and Mexico.
If we score
Egypt
one more
and New
goal, though,
Zealand
then the
and-
blowout against Argentina doesn't matter in the end.
Yeah, but imagine what the 3-0. Imagine the effect of 3-0 if we lost 1-0 and 2-1.
But I don't think it has any effect, does it? Because if
Yeah,
if
because
Nigeria
we would
lose,
have
they're
had
going to
plus.
be negative
Yeah,
one
yeah, but
anyway.
what I'm saying is on 3 points, we would have had sort of +2 goal difference
Yeah.
as opposed to being sitting on 0 or +1.
Mhm.
Or negative. Well, I mean, we're on -2 now, so I don't know why I'm jumping that far down. But that would have an inherent effect because Egypt are on 3 points. Nigeria would be on 3. Oh, yeah, okay. We'd be the only other team on 3 points. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the gap would already be there, right? Unless you want to make the argument that Egypt playing first knows our goal difference is better, so they push harder and lose by more. I don't know, but because in the rankings, if we can get to -1, well, even really, would be ideal, I guess. Because we want Nigeria to. Oh no, but then we'd have goals scored. So yeah, look. Obviously, it's never good to concede 2 goals late, but we might just sneak away with it in the world where the results go our way tomorrow.
Fair play points. Egypt -7.
Oh wow, so they've been naughty. Egypt have been naughty. That's good for us.
Look, I don't know what we're at. But this is relevant because did you see the Group A standings? Look at the Group 8 standings, and you'll see why that's relevant that Egypt are in -7.
Okay, give me 1 second. Oh right, because they're dead even with Chile. So their discipline is literally keeping them out of automatic qualification at the moment.
Yes. Now, I don't know if you can check the fair play points for us, but if we think through it, I know there was like the yellow card to Hall to give away the penalty against Italy. I know Esposito's been yellow carded. I'm just trying to like go through it.
Yeah, those
My
are the ones I
worry is
could
that
think
we
of.
could be. No, I think we're deceitfully actually quite high to -7. To be brutally honest with you, I feel like we have seen a lot more in passing. They've just been more sort of routine technical fouls and things like that. To be honest, I don't really want to entertain this, mostly because we're actually talking about it in the context of getting 5th, and I don't care about 5th. Someone was trying to say, oh well, it's important to leapfrog Egypt, sort of in a separate chat that I have, and I don't care. Yeah. I think the discipline probably won't be too big of a factor because for me, it really is just about Colombia scoring enough goals. So these things are all, different.
All right, there you go, everyone. There is my makeshift third place table. I have stitched together 3 different standings. I believe that's where we are. So Australia currently in 4th. Right now, we qualify for the knockout stage. However, there are games to be played.
Mm-hmm.
Tan says, I feel like the difference with the Asian Cup squad, the A-League, if the A-League was in season, the season has not started yet, our players lack match sharpness. That's undeniably a factor as well, but it's not something we can do a hell of a lot about, eh?
Oh, look, look. If I can actually, if I can actually speak to a couple of the other teams at this tournament, Chile's entire national league has been put on hold for this tournament, which I think is like a really good incentive.
Really?
But it means that actually, like the preparation that those guys were given was more focused in camp through their pre-training and everything like that, and less so than the sort of league minutes that those guys were going to be getting. So, don't know.
Wow, stopping the league for the Under-20 World Cup.
Because they're hosting it. The stadiums. You know how like the
makes
stadiums
sense.
with FIFA, the stadiums with
They
FIFA
have to have it
be
for a
done
while.
up for,
yeah. Oh, man. I swear, Matt, every year, daylight savings, it just sneaks up on me.
I have not. So the Western Australian referendum for daylight savings happened in 2007. So I would have been about 9. Yeah, I was 9, and I remember watching it, and I remember for whatever reason, probably because I was a kid, I was like, oh, I want daylight savings. But the collective community in Perth and Western Australia voting no, probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life. I, as an adult, and heck, even as a 15-year-old, despised the concept of daylight savings. And very glad it's not a thing.
Just deal with it. Sun goes down a little bit earlier. But
fundamentally, in this day and age, what is it actually for? If you can like give me a good enough sort of backing as for what it logically is there to do in our day-to-day lives.
Okay.
Don't talk to me about agriculture and this and that.
No.
I'm sorry.
I have a reason. I can give you an argument. So I'll tell you a story. When we at high school,
the game's kicked off, by the way. But yes, let's talk about
second half's back. Let me get the clock, and then I'll tell you this story, which is somewhat of a tenuous argument, but it is something to say why daylight savings can be productive. So back in high school, we had an outdoor education leadership program. So in year 10, about 50 or 60 students, including myself, were selected to go on this leadership course, and it was run by members of the education staff and like a dozen like year 11 extra leaders, right? And it'd be done in daylight savings. But what we would do is when we go out to this outdoor education center, we'd actually go to double daylight savings. So we wouldn't just move the clocks 1 hour, we would move them 2. And the logic behind that is that essentially we were then getting up at what people look at their phones and consider a reasonable time, but it's actually when the sun is rising. So it's actually people getting out of their tents and the sun is up and it's 8 o'clock. It's actually 6 o'clock, but it's 8 o'clock. So people are more likely to get up and actually get started with their day and do daylight things in the daylight rather than wasting the daylight. So there is a very tenuous link, but it is something tangible you can point to that isn't the cows will be upset.
You want people to be healthy and do better things for themselves and wake up on time. Don't touch the clock.
I don't disagree.
Terrible argument. Spoken like a true Eastern Stater right there. Makes me filthy.
I'm not. That wasn't defending daylight savings.
I mean, if you're not defending it, you wouldn't have If you didn't want to defend it, you wouldn't have spoken up at all.
You know, sometimes we just play devil's advocate in the name of healthy debate.
I didn't realize this was an episode of one of those talk shows. I don't know, The View. What is like the Australian equivalent? I know they had one on Channel 10 that was running for ages. I forget the name of it. Thankfully.
I don't know, any breakfast show.
This is going to kill me. What the hell was that name? The name of that show? It had like Ida Buttrose on it and stuff. Anyway,
I have no
what
idea.
am I getting into? Been a few moves forward. Nothing too dangerous yet, but obviously still on the front foot. I do worry about any counter-attacking moves becoming threatening out of nowhere. I just worry about us conceding later on in this game, and we really just can't afford to do that. We can't afford to concede. So, yeah, take the 3-0 lead, go for 4, and really just bring ourselves into it. As much as we can, of course. I don't know if you're much of a superstitious person. I don't know how sort of sentimental you are. I'm extremely sentimental. I really do like doing a lot of things with, manifesting luck and goodwill and all sorts. Should we have a conversation about Colombian culture, Colombian things, Colombian people? Just to sort of manifest the good vibes for a brilliant result.
I don't mind it.
I don't know.
Oh, good ball.
Yes, let's just wait on this move to come through because Australia are in with a chance. Australia are in with a chance. It's 3-0.
Let's go.
And it's Caputo at the double.
Caputo again.
Melbourne City's Max Caputo. He hasn't moved club, has he? As I've said that. No, he's still.
No, he's Melbourne City. I picked him as my under-21 player to watch. Thank you very much.
Come on. And I was just going to say, let's keep manifesting the good joy here. If I were to talk to
balls
you
across.
about, sorry, you're still watching it.
Yes. No, I'm just giving the second reaction. The little ball across. Good, Caputo. That's what a good striker does. He's in the right place at the right time to put home the goals.
Was the Cuban goalkeeper. What on earth is the goalkeeper doing? Mark Flacken was drinking water. I don't know if you've seen that clip, but that's Mark Flacken was drinking water. You know, Mark Flacken. He was like the third in line to be goalkeeper of the Netherlands. He was playing in the German Bundesliga for Duisburg, Bundesliga 2, and basically there's a corner and there's an offside. I think an offside goal is scored, and the team they're playing against very quickly takes the kick and comes up the other end. Flacken is just completely like beside himself, thinks they've scored. He's not celebrating. He's literally standing by the net casually drinking his water bottle. The other team come up the other end and score.
I have seen that clip.
The English feed commentary is so good.
It's so good.
What on earth's the goalkeeper doing? It's so good.
By the way, if things just don't go our way and unfortunately we get knocked out of the groups, how filthy is Alex Battleato going to be that he came over here for this disappointing tournament and missed out on getting an Australia Cup winners medal with the Newcastle Jets?
No, to be fair, you've got to take an opportunity like playing against Italy and Argentina.
Oh, absolutely. It's just one of those unfortunate things.
Yeah. He has missed out on a winner's medal, I presume. I mean, I don't know how it works with kind of.
I think he'll get a medal, but he obviously just won't be there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry. So I was just going to bring the goodwill back into the conversation about Colombia.
Yes,
I think obviously James Rodriguez 2014 is probably the first image that's in your mind. Unless you're sort of that way inclined to think about teams of the 90s, but Lockie, you don't really strike me as the type of person who would do such a thing. But
I spent a lot of my time focusing on the 20s.
Yeah, sure, yeah. First thing that comes to mind with Colombia is the name of the team, Los Cafeteros. Do you know what Los Cafeteros translates to in English?
I do not, Matt. Please tell me.
The coffee growers.
Really?
Yes, the team is called the Coffee Growers, and one of the coolest things
better than the other things they grow.
Was watching. Hey,
better than the other things they grow.
Well, I was going to mention Escobar because obviously of the story from USA '94 where Pablo Escobar's brother, obviously scored the own goal and then got shot dead. That obviously was something that is.
I didn't realize they were related.
Widely referenced. Yeah, of course they are. Yeah.
Wow.
And we're in again. Caputo really should have distributed that to Benny. He was square to put that one home. You'll see it in about 30 seconds. He's just taken the shot. Daniel's furious.
He was furious about the cutback on Battleado for the third goal as well. He was like in the goal mouth screaming. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, that really has to be centered.
So 2014 World Cup, and I mean, like, you know me, I'm already quite weaponized with the autism on my facts and things like that. But 2014 World Cup, you remember the group with Ivory Coast, Greece, Colombia, and obviously it's notorious for the Greek player kicking himself in the foot and it being called a penalty very disgracefully against the Ivory Coast to send Greece through. But Colombia were obviously in that group and topped that group quite famously. But when they faced Greece, I was obsessed. And I mean, how old was I? I was 15, 16 at the time. It would have actually just been approaching my 16th birthday around the time of the final. And bit of a mess there. Holes gobbled the ball up. It's all right. Los Cafeteros and like the culture of the Colombian football team immediately sprawled out to me, not just because Colombia was so iconic in that tournament, but because of their fixture with Greece. The first thing that was ever said on the global feed was talking about the nicknames of the teams, because Greece, the Greek national team, is called the Piratike, which means like the big pirate ship or the pirate ship.
Sure.
And Colombia were the Los Cafeteros. So it was like the World Cup of nicknames. It was the final of the World Cup of nicknames, because we had the coffee growers up against the pirate ship.
Nice.
So that's a Colombian memory that definitely sticks out to me. We could talk about if there's been any, and I mean, I'm sure there's been a lot of nationalities in league history. Is there a handball shout here on Lucas Harrington?
I'm worried if you're mentioning that in 30 seconds, it means they're looking at it. It looks like it live. Oh, no way. That has to be tucked in. That has to be tucked into the body.
They are going.
There's no... Okay,
but only
sorry.
out of review. But hold on. But only out of review. This is Cuba's review. This is not the referee's own decision.
So I've had to... This is what happened in the... I mentioned this after the Argentina game on the pod. I have to rephrase my expectations when referees go to the screen, because it is not the VAR has suggested it. It's 90% chance to be overturned. This is a club pressing a button that says, I want the referee to come over, or a national team, whatever, a team. So this is Cuba requesting the review. So the referee has to go to the screen no matter what, regardless of, the question of, is this or is this not an actual penalty?
It is a ball to hand scenario.
Yes.
I have to be brutally honest with you. I can't trust referees.
This cannot be a penalty.
Let's have a look.
If that is not a natural position, he's literally like, it is not outstretched. He's not even looking. It's tucked in. Oh, that cannot be a penalty. There was one almost exactly like it in the cup final last night. Oh, he's way too quick with this.
Natural position, no penalty. Sorry for the spoiler.
Thank God. No, I'm happy with that. I need the relief.
No, and that's what I put his position. He had a very strong accent with the way he said it. I don't know what nationality this referee is. I did not have time to seek in, take in the pre-game outside of obviously the New Zealand flag being put on the field. Because you messaged me out of the blue and said, we're live.
We're live.
So I didn't get to really take that in. But thank God. Okay.
All right, that's a relief.
It is a massive relief. So, manifesting good joy from Colombia. I was going to say Colombians that have played in the A-League. Can you think of any?
No. Carlos was Costa Rican. That's a great question. No, not off the top of my head. There absolutely has to be. I feel like there hasn't been that many, but I reckon there's definitely... Has there been one at Perth Glory recently? It's not Louis Kanga, was it? Where was he from?
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
It is.
Kanga's Ecuadorian, but I think Caicedo was Colombian.
Caicedo, that's it.
Yeah, no, don't remember that name. Do us a favor and don't remember that name.
Don't
'cause
remember Louis
you did.
Kanga.
Uh, there is a Wikipedia page for like foreign players in the A League, and I could look it up and give us some names, but that might genuinely be the only one. I was also just going to just talk about Colombia and Colombian culture in general because I am a man of facts. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of Tylenol consumed.
Can I
around
jump
time
in
of
on
birth. Yeah, go on.
the pumping up Colombia?
Yes, please.
During the Women's World Cup in 2023, I went to a couple of England fixtures that were both in Sydney. Privilege of going to the final and one of the group games. And then I also went to the 2 round of 16 games that were in Melbourne at Amy Park. One of those was Sweden-US, where the US got knocked out by millimetres in a penalty shootout, which was absolutely
Soccer madness in
thrilling to
Melby.
be there live. And the other one was Jamaica against Colombia, watching Linda Caicedo in front of what had to have been 26,000 raucous Colombian supporters at Amy Park, right in the thick of it, was absolutely brilliant. Still disagree that she should have won goal of the tournament in there. Sam Kerr's banger in the semi-final was pretty neat, but when a fan vote happens, Linda
Marta Cox was
Caicedo.
up there as well.
Yes, she was. But no, Linda Caicedo is just such a special talent.
Yeah, so I was in Melbourne because I travelled a lot for that tournament. Like
Yeah.
my whole bank account was like we're hosting the World Cup. Sorry, but got to do things. And my boss and my job were very, very accommodating at the time. They understood that it was a really, really serious obligation for me. But my memory was because obviously Germany have choked really, really bad in Group H, right?
Yeah.
But my memory was I was in Melbourne and it would have been just after Australia had come out and beat Canada 4-0, right? And I remember getting back to my hotel and obviously not really having had the time to watch the other games and take it all in yet. And that was obviously the first time I'd ever saw Linda Caicedo and that weird space-looking, space-themed Colombian away kit just striking out to me straight away and thinking this team is very much the real deal. They then obviously came to finish the tournament in Perth, where I had the pleasure of watching them. We all recall what happened that night, of course, the footage of the global feed cutting over to Brisbane, all the shocked and, the realism of what had just hit the German national team, that they weren't going to the round of 16 at the World Cup. Morocco, famously, the women's national team of Morocco, making their way through in a famous night in Perth. Just unbelievable scenes. So I didn't get to see the good side of Colombia in person, but definitely a lot of memories in that respect. And of course, Linda Caicedo also had her own piece of history. I think she was part of the U20s team on home soil as well that were in Australia's group. But anyway, if you don't mind, I'm just going to come back to that conversation around Colombians in the A-League because there's a few names here where you'll immediately go, oh, of course. Because all 3 of these guys are in the 2020s, the mid-2020s. And in fact, there's a 4th guy from 06-07, so I might as well start with him because I don't think either of us recognise him. But Milton Rodriguez, who played for Newcastle Jets in 06-07.
No.
Sorry, we're just a bit too young for that one.
Yes.
Nida Marino, who played for Auckland FC in 24-25.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have had that one.
And the other one should be very obvious because he's a championship winner, Angel Torres for the Mariners.
Yes, true.
Yes.
Is he? His court case, he hasn't been ruled on yet, right?
Look, I don't know, but I obviously just wanted to talk about
Yeah.
the football side of what's going on. Obviously, yes, he's had to leave the club.
Because I think he's still a Mariners player. Obviously, he's been stood down, but yeah.
What on earth is Cuba's goalkeeper? It's almost just straight up giving us a 4th right there. Goodness. And thank God that, by the way, when you have a side like Cuba, because remember I was saying on the podcast that I'm worried that off the back of what's gone on against Italy, they are really going to fire up. And usually there are teams, top 4 teams in their situation who do take an occasion like this to really fire up. Thank God we aren't playing Honduras right now. Thank God Honduras did not win that shootout. Because I think everything I said about Cuba. And do you remember that the top comment on YouTube was basically like, don't disrespect Cuba. You guys are being so stupid for disrespecting Cuba. I saw that team on paper from a mile away and I thought, I know what we're in for,
Mhm.
respectfully. So, yeah, we're thankful that this has probably been their worst performance.
Yeah.
But
We had a comment the other day that was like, you guys
oh my
clearly know
goodness, oh my goodness, they've actually managed to score.
Oh, no.
I feel that Hull's actually been impeded there.
Why, James Overy, why are you putting that out for a corner?
Yeah. Rabio, I have to be honest with you. It almost looks like Hull's actually been interfered with. I may be being a
Oh,
bit harsh here,
my
but the ball.
God.
Rabio, Rabio, and I mean Harrington hasn't done the best job of it either. But no, okay. Being, I don't know. Look at it from the reverse angle. When you get the reverse angle come through, Rabio's going for the ball as Hull's kind of reaching in to touch it. It's not like very obviously a foul, but it is just one of those ones where it's a bit uncomfortable to look at.
Yeah, that's not a foul.
Yeah.
That's just goalkeeper's got to be stronger there.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fair. He was fairly disappointed with himself.
So Australia now need two
momentum.
goals for the next kind of milestone.
Yes. I do apologise that I was just talking about how poor Cuba have been just before that goal's gone in, but I don't really feel that they did a lot to deserve it. I should have shut up. I don't know why I say these things, Lockie. I'm really sorry. Now they are going to get that fire in the belly that I was talking about they're lacking.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully it happens to Australia as well, though. Oh, my God. Toure. Oh. That was literally a simple 3-on-2. He's just passed it straight back to them. This game is going to be so open, and there's still 25 minutes to go.
That man, Romario Torres.
Australia should score another 3 goals. Oh my God, that was close as well.
Again with the commentator, immediately slandering Australia because Cuba's the feel-good team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, they might be leaving some gaps. What do you... Oh!
What was that reaction to?
They're hitting the post. Did you not see that hit the post?
Well, I'm still waiting.
A mile away.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, that was a close shot.
Sorry, it's hard because I can't sort of tell. I'm looking at the screen on an angle for context,
Yeah.
so I can't fully read numbers straight away. So I'm struggling to tell which players are which until I actually see them up close. I believe it was Okong Angsler with the shot.
Oh,
I don't know.
Jeez,
Oh, no.
Daniel Benny is becoming absolutely furious with the lack of service.
Samuel Rodriguez misses next match. Respectfully, they are 3-1 down with 1 point to their name. Oh, there we go. Brilliant ball. That's a foul. Yep. And again, I can't say player names because I'm struggling to tell who it is immediately as it happens. But okay, it was a Ghosty. I literally had no idea. Acosti is playing his football in Series C.
Yeah.
And he's playing with a club that was only formed in like 2021 or 2022. Very, very fascinating club.
Oh. It was a Ghosty with a shot as well.
That's what I just said, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought you meant the foul.
No, okay.
Sometimes it's hard to keep track with the 30 seconds, but yes.
Yes, yeah. All good. We are having a corner kick exactly on 67 minutes. Harrington's gone in for the header, but it's fallen to a pack of bodies. Agosti's gone back in for a challenge. It's been cleared away by the Cuban backline there. So again, on 67 minutes, 3-1, you really hate to see that this isn't a clean sheet. Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all.
So I'm just thinking podcast again in my head, Matt. Should we maybe wait until the Nigeria game to have a full discussion?
The tournament review or group stage review, probably tournament
I just don't
review.
think it's like we're throwing the idea of doing something after this, but I don't think it's worth talking about in too much detail.
There's a review. Torres has touched the ball. It's close. Listen, it's close.
Review request Australia. We're appealing for a penalty, are we?
Yes. This is less ball to hand, but I can understand not calling it. And you'll see what I mean in a second. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think that's pretty natural as well. Barely any time to react. He's trying to get his foot up. That's not a penalty either. Is this what this like coaching like request VS system is going to be? Just like coaches just pinging random handballs?
Same. So I don't know if you're obviously going to catch that when the referee speaks, but exactly as we've implied, it is a natural position from Cuban player. But I think you're right. I think there's far too much gaming and nefarious reasons for the review system. I'm really not sure that this is going to work. I think review systems naturally work better in your games like cricket and tennis, where they're just fundamentally different to a team ball sport where you're getting this kind of flow-on effect. And Daniel Benny's coming off for what might be his final minutes here in Santiago. I think at times he's lacked a bit, but I think he also has clearly been lively and present, and I think he'll take a lot of that confidence back to QPR, where, of course, he has already won the U21's title for QPR alongside Jalen Pearman.
Nice.
So
I think with the video system as well, sometimes it's hard to know because this is obviously a trial, right? So these kind of rules, like the meta evolves with time. So like if you had this for 2 years in regular use, would coaches then learn not to use it on speculative handballs and instead wait for, like bolted on fouls in the penalty box and trips that the referee, like in the opening minutes of the Australia Cup final last night, where Heidelberg probably were very unluckily denied a penalty in the first couple of minutes. Situations like that rather than just those like speculative handball shouts.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that sorry, that's where I probably should have replied and had a bit more input, but I think sort of like the implementation of VAR, there was a lot of sort of learning to embrace it over time. I mean, it was obviously hated just because of how different it was to start with, and there was a lot of sort of, it takes away from the moment as a fan. Like, forget anything that's going on within the rules and anything that's going on the field. When it comes to just like, we have our moment where we've scored and now we've got a video review system that's going to come in and kind of take that moment away and potentially take the goal away that we've just madly celebrated.
Yep.
There's a lot of just, being pissed off with that. And when it comes to, imagine like a tense rivalry game, really it can be in a country like England or Australia, but imagine it in like South America where like fan violence and all of these things get ramped up more. Imagine Boca versus River and you've got these kinds of antics going on. I can imagine it just does not make for a very pleasant environment, to be brutally honest with you. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's very sport dependent. Like I recently had my very first experience officiating hockey with video reviews, and hockey sits in this weird middle ground where there are some like 100% decisions, such as like the ball hitting a foot, which is just 100% a foul, like in cricket, the ball, being caught or being LBW, and tennis on the line or not. And a mix of a lot of very subjective decisions like football, like our obstruction rule could be considered just as subjective as the football handball rule. Like there is just so many different points to it that depending on who looks at it, you can have different opinions either way. So we operate under a system of like team reviews and umpire reviews. So we can have both for the different kind of things that pop up. And, cricket, I think, as in tennis, as you say, like those decisions, it's just the nature of the sport. Like LBW, people can believe where the ball is or not, right? But that's pretty much as certain as you can get. But then you look at like a fair catch review, for example. Like it's just an example of the type of decision that you have to make is naturally a very subjective one. So it's so totally sport dependent. And I think the more subjective it gets, the more it leans itself to just the referees as a team deciding how much they want to re-referee the game, which is hopefully not very little, not very much. And then you just let the referee team do their job.
Rabio hits the side netting.
So we
just getting the lay down on all things Colombia to really spruik that conversation up again. But I think with the goal conceded, we maybe shouldn't be getting so excited by it. But yes, Rabio.
Yeah, I've just seen that miss. Wow.
Very close.
If that goes...
Argentina have scored against Italy. Argentina taking a 1-0 lead against the Italians. Brilliant interception there. Australia on the counter now. Sture. Straight into the keeper's hands.
So we really need another goal. Like,
yeah, look, the ideal lead is 3.
Because then just a Nigeria loss. I mean, I guess 4 means any Nigeria loss is good. 3 means if they lost by 1 but scored a couple, they'd be okay. But really, the Socceroos need goals. Otherwise, at the moment, we need Nigeria to lose by 2 goals and score a maximum of 1.
Colombia is the second most biodiverse country in the world, only second to Brazil, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 1 in the world for bird species, from the Amazon to the Andes to the Caribbean coast. I guess it actually does cover a lot of natural diversity.
Go the birds.
That actually does make a lot of sense. I didn't know that part of the Andes touched Colombia, but it is actually a pretty big mountain range.
There you go. I imagine Australia has to be pretty biodiverse.
Ooh.
Oh, no, because we get stuck with a lot of Pacific animals that don't really leave.
Yes, correct. Because we are, in fact, an island.
Yeah, we are. You're not wrong.
Toure! Oh. That really happened out of nowhere. I mean, I was looking at my phone, to be fair, but... Okay, no, the Cuban defenders absolutely made a meal of it. See, this is the kind of things they're doing, and we've got to pounce on it. I know our goal was pretty sloppy.
Yeah.
Our goal was pretty sloppy, but that's...
Mo Touré's had a shocker since coming on, must be said.
Yes. And I thought he was the reason why Caputo started, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought he was so good in the first game, and he just, against Argentina, just wasn't it.
I did get into Chilean mythology for FPF with my piece. I haven't really had the pleasure of talking much Chilean mythology with RBA, but there is an opportunity to talk Colombian mythology to the extent that it exists. I'll have to look that one up. Here we are again. Saved. Jovanovic just had his chance saved. And again, that's another one where, Lockie, you are going to watch this. I just feel like a bit of teamwork there. Centering the ball doesn't go to a miss. I mean, 2-on-1 situation.
That's a good touch from Touré. Oh, they've just allowed the defender to have all the free reign. They've run the same line, the same angle.
Yes.
Matt Alex in the chat has also proposed that potentially Colombia might be number one for Miss Universe wins. I'm not sure if that's a true statistic or not.
I am actually very intrigued by that. Believe it or not, I have actually watched the Miss Universe once in 2011 in Rio. Don't ask me why. It's definitely just one of those things that came on the telly, and I was like, it's got like geography in it, so I'll watch it. No.
It's got
and
geography.
again, in 2011, in 2011, I'll also provide a bit more context. I was a 13-year-old boy, so
that's the context that's required.
yes.
Oh, come on, Australia.
This is it, sure. Oh my God. You are going to cringe again watching that. You are going to cringe again. Oh, they've just given us a corner. Perez has given us a corner and then collapsed on the ground. There's nothing serious. He's obviously just physically tired.
Go Thiago. Oh, he's tried to be. Oh, it's a 3-on-2, boys.
Yeah, look at this. We're breaking through somewhere. Look what Perez does. Son, it's a World Cup. I don't care if you've got 12 minutes left. What on earth was that?
That is such a my hamstring is the reason I missed that pass. They've literally just tried. Oh, it's Yuli. Such a good run.
Yeah, I know. You thought it was Quintal. Quintal's not on the pitch, I believe.
It's been hard. Oh, jeez. A mixture of Australia's position in this tournament, my tiredness, and the haphazard nature of this stream has just made me lose all context of what's happening on the field at the moment.
We're going to... These kinds of factors are what make something like this more memorable for us both, though.
If we do make it through, when will that game be?
To be honest, it's too dependent on what side of the draw we end up getting, because as a third place team, we just can't lock anything in. And to be brutally honest with you, again, I don't like having the whole round of 16 conversation, knowing that
Lucas Harrington.
It was Jalen Perman. Goodness me.
Oh. Did you watch the Australia Cup final last night?
Absolutely did, yeah. Very happy for a lot of friends I've got in the community over in Newcastle. 17-year wait to end a trophy drought.
Yeah.
And I'm going to forget the lad's name. Fryer. Absolute peach of a goal to secure the title. And I really actually just want to personally give a shout out to Leo James, the co-founder of FPF. Christian's best mate growing up. He was the MC.
Is Leo James the co-founder of FPF?
Yes.
How do I not know that? That's incredible to me.
I know nothing of the extent of your relationship with Christian, so I don't really know.
I mean, because from an FPF sense, I've only really dealt with Christian. Does Leo have much of a hands-on role at all anymore?
No.
Okay.
Leo's obviously on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention it, right? Because the culmination of what FPF was really started when Christian was in university.
Yeah.
And obviously he was still...
Because he did the uni assignment and that was with Leo.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Because and they, I believe when they were in high school, when they were like 15, 16, they already got gigs on like local like Italian radio stations just talking about football and football results. And they were just, you think about sort of the growth that they've both had, but especially Leo.
Yeah.
The fact that he was the freaking MC and like he was the one doing the presentation at the end, I was just like, this is a guy that I've literally like had a drink with in Adelaide. Like, this is nuts.
Yeah.
I know Australian football is a small community, but like you have people in our scene, and then you have like the kind of insiders and the more proper media class. So to see that mold of that was very, very special.
Very cool.
So yeah, I don't know that was. I don't know that the winning goal and that being my true takeaways are a sign that I was really that invested in it. To be brutally honest with you.
I think
seriously, to see a club in that sort of Perth, Brisbane, Newcastle mould where there's just been a lot of crap going on. The Mariners are about to go through it again. Adelaide could potentially having their moment going through it. There's a lot going on in the A-League where there's just a lot of unpleasant things going on in that environment. So really, really, honestly, wholeheartedly, couldn't be happier for Newcastle. And here's Reece Yuli, and Reece Yuli saved.
I just think it was. This is, I want to say the third or fourth cup final I've been to. Obviously, the others were as Victory fans. And I just, for the first time watching, I don't know, just with A-League teams against A-League teams, it always felt like a procession of a preseason cup. By the time you get down to just A-League teams, the air of real hard competitiveness kind of fallen out of it. Obviously, you're playing for a trophy, but there's always this asterisk on it. Whereas this game genuinely would mean so much to either side that won it. It felt like a spectacle, especially being at Lakeside, capacity 10,000. I kind of poked my nose at the exact 10,000 attendance that was announced, but that is supposedly the maximum capacity, so I guess they can't say any more than that. But the atmosphere, Heidelberg being in the final with the Australian Championship starting next week, Newcastle Jets being 17 years without a trophy, it just felt like both storylines were so seductive that it just had so much more on the line than this final usually does. So I thought it was brilliant.
You just mentioning that the championship is coming up is doing all sorts of things in my head, because obviously we've got championship, we've got A-League, all of these things coming in October. My head is on the fact that, by the way, in 6 days' time, Graham Arnold is qualifying Iraq for the World Cup. One game against Indonesia, one game against Saudi. I have not seen a single person in Australian football circles mention it yet, and that is deeply concerning to me. I think the whole international break that we're about to have snuck up on us way too quickly. Because I obviously wanted to hit the ground running and do a lot with Asian content, and there are people I want to have conversations with. Whether or not I can do that in 6 days' time, especially with everything else going on in Australian football, that's another conversation entirely. May have to be more of a review than preview kind of content.
Yeah.
But that does worry me, because I've got my accreditation for the championship, and obviously I will be getting that to Bayswater for those games as well, playing Sydney United, RPL Leichhardt, and Metro Stars out of South Australia.
Do you have much of a, how would I describe it? I guess connection to the success of the championship?
Just hold on 2 seconds. No.
God, that was poor.
So late with the flag, goodness. Look, I think that when it comes to second-tier football, the old football on SBS, it's really beautiful bringing that together for a lot of people. Is it something that I have a big emotional connection with? No. I'm actually, like, in my line of kind of the influence that I grew up with, it was all different sports. Like, I became a football person by choice in my life, so I don't have a connection to that sort of element of things. But obviously just bringing a national second tier together, I mean, ever since I've been avidly, like, really strongly involved in the Australian football community, the people, the forums, being involved with a network like this, with RBA and with FPF and everything like that. This national second tier conversation has been going on for just the longest time. And so to finally actually have it is a special thing, right? It's inherently very special for everyone in Australian football, and we ought to embrace it. However, as someone that really does not have a lot of emotional connection with the NPLWA, mostly due to just natural geography in areas that I'm actually from within Perth, but also the fact that I didn't really grow up around football, so the grassroots side of it didn't appeal to me a lot. But then also just the fact that, we're not overly competitive. Something like that famous Kingsway result against Victory is something that's obviously been literally decades in the making and was a very, very special night for me. It happened on my birthday. I could go on, right? So just like one of the coolest nights. And you're cringing having just seen
Quintal shot
went by. That's Pineo coming off for Cuba. Chavez coming on. I will say the Colombia research is a bit boring here. Obviously, the usual stories of sort of gold, treasury, El Dorado, all of these kinds of things with Colombian mythology, but a lot with nature as well. A lot of Mother Nature type figures in Colombian mythology. So Oh, Torres hit the side netting.
Oh, Jovanovic in behind. Just bodies everywhere. Reece Yuli's wide open, but let's go the other way. And then Turi into the side netting. Man, this has been... I don't know how we haven't scored 10 goals.
Oh.
It's funny, the conversation we had the other day, Matt, about expectations, and I know I keep referencing this, but I've just listened to 10 hours of Ange going, we can't keep considering ourselves the underdog, listening to Ange Ball by Vince Rugari. And I'm ready to absolutely launch into the Young Socceroos for their performance at this tournament. I really feel that strongly about it now. I don't know.
Again, rather stupidly, the actual tournament performance versus other things going on come to be a bit sort of exclusive in my mind for the very simple fact that I've watched other teams, and when I compare us with other teams, I think our global standard is actually quite good. But we can only ever judge ourselves on what our actual performance is. And my real gripe at this particular moment in time is everyone's going to come at it and look at it from the 3 games. But if we actually want to talk about our global standard, please, for the love of God, there are 24 teams at this tournament. Let's actually take a look around and give ourselves more perspective. Because we have literally still been one of the better teams at the tournament.
Okay, if you're measuring purely the performances, not the results, but the performances of all 24 teams, give us a bracket of where you think Australia might sit, like a range of 3 or 4 teams.
Right now, somewhere between about 12th to 15th.
Okay.
And the fact of the matter is, the U20s haven't been to a World Cup since 2013. So in a world where we're in South Korea's group, and we've made that round of 16 potentially a quarterfinal, I'm sorry, but like we'd be really wrapped with that. The narrative would be completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So I just.
But again, it goes back to the same thing we were talking about the other day. It's like the narrative absolutely would be completely different, but the fact that we're so high in this generation and then we lose against 2 teams, like almost doesn't matter who they are. Like we should be holding ourselves to a higher standard.
The Argentina performance was crap. It just was. And I get that. And the whole kind of Ange mythology around, how high you are really setting that standard. We have to go to World Cups believing we can win them. The mentality is wrong. I get it. Because ultimately the Argentina game doesn't happen in the fashion that it does. We don't get high on ourselves after losing 1-0 to Italy. It's a loss. I don't care that it's obviously Italy that we've put a really solid performance in against, right?
Mm. Oh, that's...
What is the referee doing?
There was a trip in the box that I've just seen that I reckon Cuba will have reviewed. Pretty sure it was a dive, but I mean, there's 3 minutes left and they have a review, so.
Notable indigenous Colombian mythological figures. There we go, figures. Bachua, the mother and creator of humanity. Okay, emerged from Lake. I'm going to try to pronounce this. Iquakwe, with a child who grew into her husband. Okay, all right. The Colombians were obviously smoking whatever.
So football
in the 1800s.
So there's he goes inside. Who is that? Is that Ocon? Yeah, it is. Oh, it's such a dive. Ocon puts his foot out but retracts it, and the Cuban guy literally puts his foot out to make contact as Ocon Eggler's foot is going backwards.
I heard the commentator with a very snide, like, you make your own decision kind of comment, like, I can clearly see what it is, so,
Why are commentators so afraid to call out dives when it's that clear?
Just got a shot of Chavez there for Cuba doing the whole it's like, mate, that was never going to be a penalty.
You should give him a yellow card for simulation. Are they still allowed the same purview of regular VAR in terms of they can make like a yellow card?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They're not going to. Got a minute and a half left. They're not going to. Pearman. Straight at the keeper.
All right. So time is running out. Australia now need Nigeria to lose to Colombia by 2 goals.
Or the USA to beat South Africa by what, like 5?
5, something like that. There are a couple of results that can send us through, but
Elite.
into the 93rd minute. Another breakaway for Australia. I'm watching this so resigned because I know it won't be fruitful.
Maybe I just didn't react. No.
To be fair, Christian did that in a Socceroos game once. He was a good 20 seconds ahead of the rest of the group, and we scored a goal, and he managed to hold in his reaction for 20 seconds until the rest of us got there.
Oh my goodness! We've scored! Look at your man, he's offside!
No, don't do this to me. Wait, it's offside. I'm seeing the run down the right. Oh, he is off. Yeah, I've seen it in real time. It's a great finish, but the flag's up.
He looks...
He looks off.
No, his facial reaction. He looks, yeah.
Yeah, he's offside. He's offside. Oh, unless the foot... Hold on. This could be closer than I thought. I think he is still off, but it's very tight.
Refs call play on the Estadio Nacional.
I think these are automatically reviewed. Hey, Danny in the chat, mate. Appreciate you jumping in. Right at the death. Yeah, goals automatically reviewed. Offside, confirmed. 3-1. Is this full time?
Now,
that's it. I just heard the whistle. I've heard the whistle through your mic. All right. 3-1 Australia. It's a win, but it's still disappointing. Australia won't walk away from any of these games feeling like they've achieved what they wanted to. And now they have to sweat on the results of tomorrow to see if they progress through to the round of 16. We're going to leave it there because this has been, honestly, a bit of a disaster, but it's fine. We're watching football. It's all good. But thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.